Merry Christmas, or Merry December, and welcome to the first in my holiday-themed reviews. And before you ask, no, all these delays weren't an elaborate and annoying plan to get Heart of Ice into this holiday-themed marathon, where it would have been more appropriate. I swear. Normally, I don't do reviews like this where I celebrate what's already well-known and well-celebrated. Admirable animation is about providing more attention to things that are under the radar, or providing more analysis to things that aren't. I can't really do that to the most popular of things, and things well known for greatness, without providing context. For example, if I were to review, say, Fantasia as an Admirable animation, I wouldn't be able to talk about how technically great it is. Instead, I'd talk about how critical attitudes towards things change over times, and things once upon a time seen as terrible can become amazing classics. Legitimate critics compared Fantasia to Nazism in 1940, so people ask me to review things like The Lion King, Lisa's Substitute, or even Over the Garden Wall. If they ever do come around, expect less of Last of the Star Makers and more of The Mask or Land Before Swine. When I do just add more heaps of praise to things already celebrated, my reviews can come across as redundant, and for the most part, those reviews seem to be weaker. But since it's close to Christmas, I thought that I'd make an exception for Heart of Ice from Batman the Animated Series. This show needs no introduction. It's known by most as one of the greatest animated series of all times, and definitely one of the best of the 90s. It's certainly up there. As for this episode, as per normal, it's not my favorite episode of the show, but it's definitely one of the most well-known. And it's time to see why. It starts with Mr. Freeze talking about how he remembers his wife, surrounded by winter and always beautiful, and he wants revenge on the person who took her from him. He's been attacking a bunch of GothCorp buildings with a freeze ray of sorts with unknown intentions. Meanwhile, we see the CEO, Ferris Boyle, trying to play up a nice image. We cut to Batman, who's been doing research on the stolen items, and sees that they can all come together into a weapon that can create intense cold. There's one piece missing, and only one place to find that piece. And Batman goes there knowing that it's Mr. Freeze's next target. Mr. Freeze's van breaks through, and Batman chases after. And then we get one of the many intense action scenes that this show is known for. This leads to Batman crashing, but not giving up. We see that Mr. Freeze has a very interesting morality. He doesn't knock out the guards, just keeps them locked out of the room. He doesn't seem to want to hurt Batman until he gets involved. Yet, he doesn't care when his henchmen get hit by his own freeze ray. Batman stops chasing after Mr. Freeze in order to help the henchmen because his morality is quite certain. This battle left Batman with a pretty annoying cold, and we get to see something that only the best of animated shows really get to do: small talk. It's very unusual to see, despite all the useful benefits that it can have, like bringing a show closer to reality, or adding depth to characters. Bruce Wayne decides to visit Ferris Boyle himself in order to get some information about who could be attacking GothCorp, and then we see a side of Ferris we hadn't seen before. He doesn't seem to have much respect for his employees, and tried to fire one who was wasting company money. But there was an explosion and he was presumed dead. And apparently Ferris is going to be winning a humanitarian award. We cut to Mr. Freeze being exceptionally bitter towards the world as he assembles his cannon. Meanwhile, Batman is trying to do some research on the ex-employee and the explosion, and believes that there was some kind of cover-up. He wants to check GothCorp's private files, and so Alfred gives him something very important.
Knocked out gas, chicken soup. The only way to fight a cold.
Batman manages to impersonate a security guard and begins doing some research on Mr. Freeze. His wife came down with an incurable illness. He invented and placed his wife in a cryogenic freezing chamber in hopes that there would one day be a cure for her. Ferris Boyle breaks in and says that he ordered the experiment shut down because it was wasting his money. And there are many ways that one can look at this. Legally speaking, Mr. Boyle is in the right, but ethically speaking, Mr. Freeze is somewhere in the gray. It's the only way to save someone he cares about, but it is theft and fraud. And yet, Mr. Boyle, by pulling the plug, is just letting someone die. What we get here is sort of a black and gray morality, where no one is really the good guy. And it's complex scenarios like this that made Batman the Animated Series one of the greatest cartoons of all time. What does bring Boyle into the more wrong is that he kicks Freeze into a bunch of chemicals that he thought killed him, and then he doesn't give a damn about him. Then Mr. Freeze shoots Batman and holds him hostage in his lair. Batman tries to sympathize with Mr. Freeze, but he claims that he's beyond emotions, which is easy to see why. The suit that Mr. Freeze wears keeps him alive, since he can't survive without temperatures below freezing. Mr. Freeze is willing to kill everyone in the building to get revenge on the man who ruined his life forever. Batman manages to escape, and we get to the final part of the episode. Mr. Freeze brings his cannon to the building and uses it to seal it shut. Batman escapes the lair, and we see cold rising up to Mr. Boyle's party. Batman enters the scene and attempts to stop the bad guys. Yet, in spite of him, Mr. Freeze makes it into the building to personally get revenge on Mr. Boyle. As he starts begging, Mr. Freeze recounts pretty much how pissed he is at Boyle. Then Batman comes in, and we got the final fight. He has Batman nearly killed, but Batman manages to save himself with the chicken soup that breaks open Mr. Freeze's helmet. Then Batman gives everyone the security tape of Ferris Boyle destroying Mr. Freeze and his wife's life.